All right, howdy everyone. Frankie here, New West Reset. Hello. How's it going? Welcome back. Thank you very much for shooting in, joining a fella here for another one. Another live one, as a matter of fact. New West Reset Live, episode 118 here today. Where are we at? Well, it's Sunday, May 18th, 2025. Just a wee past 5 p.m. local time. That's mountain time, don't you know? Because as usual, we're coming at you live here from Calgary, southern Alberta, up in Canada land, Purdy, Alberta. Mountain time, that's where we're at. Car horn honking in the background. Be quiet out there. Yeesh. Got the window open because it's decent outside. Plus 10 Celsius. That's roughly 50 Fahrenheit. I mean, it's not the best, but it's raining. So that's good because it's been drier than a fart convention around here. I don't even know what that means, but anyway. So the rain is very welcome. Trees are blooming and blossoming, and the leaves are sprouting, and the grass is turning green. So that's nice. That'll last a month, and then everything will turn taupey, grayish, brownish, beige-ish again when we get all dry in the summer. Anyway. Rain beats snow. It's like a game of rock, paper, scissors, and rain beats snow. So it's not snowing. I'll take it. So as mentioned, episode 118 here today. It's the Victoria Day episode of the show here today. So it's Victoria, Queen City of the Old World. As per usual, links below for everything we're going to be covering here for the show. We're going to be looking at Queen Victoria herself a little bit and what exactly Victoria Day is and why and whatnot. But then we're going to go and look at the city of Victoria. We're going to look at some photos of some old photos of some of the beautiful old world buildings. We've made mention of Victoria here on the channel before, and we've talked about Queen Victoria and Victoria Day and past live stream. This might even be the third Victoria Day live stream now, or the second at least, anyway. But anyway, thought, in homage to Queen Victoria, we'll have a look at the city that's her namesake. That's just one province to the west of me over the Rockies there in British Columbia land, eh? So thanks for joining me here. Really appreciate it. Thanks for winding down your weekend here with yours truly. If you haven't already, give a guy one of these. Just helps to push me out into the thing, and do all the other stuff down here. Appreciate that. Thanks to everybody who's already shared and subscribed. And if you're watching this after the live, after the fact, really appreciate all your support as well. So thank you. And speaking of support, links below for not only everything we're going to be covering for the show, but how you can get a hold of a guy. BitChute, MeWe, the fellow's emails down there as well. So, if you want to send me some photos or you've done some boots on the ground in your area and you want to share them, I'd love to see them. Always encourage people to do that. And then, of course, link for Bumble down there, the Green Fighting platform, because we're broadcasting simultaneously live on both the HooTubes and the Bumbles. So welcome, everybody. Appreciate it. And also my location map. You click on that and it opens up the goggle machine. And Cousin Vinny created a nice little location map everywhere that I've done boots on the ground here in Alberta. And as mentioned, to support the channel, PayPal, if you want to donate to the maple syrup or maple bacon or maple sugar fund, greatly appreciated. The best way to support the channel is, just to do this and the other things, and join me here Sunday for the live show. So appreciate seeing all of you here for, of course, the Sunday Fun Day show. Woo! Woo! All right, let's say hello to everyone in the chat, in the box. Say howdy. Let me know how you're doing. Eric was in here from Lost and Found History Rewritten. He's going to be around a nice bonfire tonight with some friends, so I ain't going to begrudge a guy. So have a good time, Eric. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Cousin Vinny over here, says Victoria. Been there a bunch of times, but never with open eyes. Last time was 2014. I was there once in my life only, and it was for about a half a day. And that was back in the late 80s. Not that I've never wanted to go back, just never had the opportunity. It's kind of a bummer, but yeah, I totally get what you're saying there. Kathy Broughton's in the box. Hello, Kathy. How you doing? Hello, hello. Thanks for shooting in. Channel Fitty Tree is here. Channel Fitty Tree. Ubukan is here as well. Good to see you. Happy Sunday Fun Day to you. Baja. Howdy. Welcome. Hello. Hello there. Wiley's here as well from down in Montana land down there. Wiley Metz. Hello. Hello. Good to see you, sir. Who else we got here? I think that's everybody. Nope. Title's here. Hey, Queen lady. Put down your cup of tea and your crumpet for a second. Title's here. Hello, Title. Good to see you. Hippie Shake in the box. Hello, Hippie. How you doing? Digital archaeology over on the Rumble, on the Bumble's place there. Hello. Thanks for shooting in there, bot. Let's go Leafs tonight. Leafs or Oilers, as long as the Canadian team, makes it to the next round of the, the stick and puck ice hockey game. Us Canadians, we don't call it ice hockey, by the way. No. Stop it. Just call it hockey. People say, but Frankie, there's different kinds of hockey. There's ice hockey, field hockey. Yeah, I know. I get it. But we just call it hockey. All right? We invented it. We could call it what we want. We're going to call it hockey. All right? We're the ones that stole it. We stole it fair and square from the Indians. That's crazy! Anyway, good to see you. Yeah, I'm just, so I think Winnipeg's out now, unfortunately, right? I don't know. I haven't checked in the last couple of days, to be honest with you. Yes, there's air hockey as well, Title. Yeah, thank you. So you got ice hockey, field hockey, air hockey. So that's that. Is there any kind of water hockey? Well, frozen water hockey would be ice hockey. So yeah, there you go. No fire hockey that I know of. That sounds even more dangerous than regular hockey. Melted Syracuse, New York in the box. Hello, how you doing? What were the Indians using for ice skates? Well, they were playing it on the frozen ponds and swamps and whatnots and creeks and rivers and so forth with just their mucklucks or their whatever they wore on their feet, man. But the Mi'kmaq peoples, Indigenous First Nations peoples, they basically invented the hockey stick. So I don't know. I guess they just whacked around a frozen cow poop on the ice. Not sure. Not too sure at all. They lost to the Stars. Digital archaeology says, yeah, Winnipeg lost at Dallas Stars. What do Texans know about hockey? I know. Don't mess with Texas. I'm just saying. You know, you think people from Winnipeg would know a little bit more about hockey than the Dallas, Texas, you know. Just say it. I don't mean to, promote and the old stereotype or whatnot, but it is what it is. Oh, they'd soak the wood and they'd bend it to get a nice curve on the blade, the whole bit there, bud. They had a big factory going there in just outside of Halifax, I think. Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, I want to say. Could be wrong. Could be some little town just outside that's now been swallowed up. But yeah, up until, I don't know, the 1920s or the 1930s or something. And even a little bit later than that, hockey players would just be like, yeah, I'm just going to buy my sticks from them instead of from whoever, right? CCM or Eastman or Titan or whatever. Vincent says, I worked out the odds of no Canadian team winning for 31 years straight. It was less than 1 in 1,000. It's a lot of numbers crunching there, Cousin Vinny. Huh? Because, of course, you got Cousin Vinny and you got Frankie Fingers over here. Huh?
So, Tommy, where have you been, huh? I've been watching New West Reset. Huh? Well, it's New West Reset. It's just thing on YouTube. He goes around, he does his boots on the ground thing. I'll tell you.
All right, let's quit messing around here. As per usual, I got a couple of links, as mentioned, down in the description below there. So we'll go over some of that. We'll take a mid-show break. When we come back, we'll look at some old photographs. What do you say? Sound pretty good? Huh? All right. Nice. I don't know. I guess maybe speaking of the goggle machine, the goggle maps, let's open her up there, bud. Just have a look at where Victoria is. Exactly. People might be saying, you talk about it all the time, but I still have no idea where that is there, buddy. You might want to pull that up so that we know where you're talking about. Well, all right. There we go. There's Canada land. There's where I live right there, eh? And there's British Columbia. There's the Rockies. So you got Vancouver. Everybody's heard of Vancouver there. Well, there's Victoria right there. Just in this sort of little alcove. Not alcove, what would you call that? A fjord? An inlet? I don't know. Victoria's right here, eh? So there's beautiful Victoria. Right on the southern tip. Just the tip. Just the tip now of Vancouver Island. I lost it there. I couldn't continue myself.
I wet my jockeys here.
Anyways, it was named after Queen Victoria. Who would have thunk it? Vancouver, har. Hongcouver, Hong, Couver. That's the preferred slur, if you don't mind. Already getting off the rails here. Anyways, Victoria, named after Queen Victoria, and that's kind of the theme of the show, kind of, sort of. It's Victoria Day. Technically not today. Technically the holiday, the official Victoria Day holiday, is tomorrow, Monday, the 19th. But close enough, eh? So I figured let's have a look at what this is. It's this Victoria Day. And again, we've touched on it in the past, but, it's always good to kind of get a refresher on the shenanigans of the narrative because, well,
Shenanigans.
So Victoria Day. is a federal Canadian public holiday observed on the last Monday preceding May 25th to honor Queen Victoria, who is known as the Mother of Confederation. In other words, she was the reigning monarch when Canada became Canada Land. The holidays existed in Canada since at least 1845, so before we were even officially a country. We were just a dominion of the United Kingdom in the Commonwealth. But anyways, originally on Victoria's natural birthday, May 24th. It falls on the Monday between the 18th and the 24th inclusive, and so is always the penultimate Monday of May. Victoria Day is a federal statutory holiday as well as a holiday in the 6 of Canada's 10 provinces, all 3 of its territories. Holiday has always been a distinctly Canadian observance and continues to be celebrated across the country. We call it May long now, eh? But if you were to say to a lot of people, well, some of the younger generation knuckleheads and the more newly arrived knuckleheads may not have an idea. But if you say, what is May long celebrating? They'll be like, the long weekend in May. Yeah, but why? Why? Tell me why. Well, it's Queen Victoria's birthday, her born day. That's why. So it's informally considered the start of the summer season in Canada. Yeah, generally you don't go camping till after Victoria Day weekend or May long weekend, because you're going to get weather like it is right now, raining, thunderstorms, a little on the chilly side. Good luck starting your fire to cook your hot dogs over the fire for dinner when your firewood's all wet. The same date is also, since 1952, recognized as the currently reigning Canadian monarch's official birthday, though previously that had been marked in Canada typically on each monarch's actual birthday. So yeah, now whoever's the reigning monarch over in the UK there, they're like, right now it's Charles, right? Old King Chuck. So, his birthday is May Victoria Day, May long weekend. And Elizabeth II's before him. You see what they're getting at? It's cockamamie. Anyway, royal birthdays for members of French and British royal families were commemorated in various parts of Canada since the 17th century. That far back, you say? These were ad hoc commemorations rather than holidays enshrined in law. Early commemorations were typically marked by official ceremonies such as a levee and military review, a military parade and whatnot, banquets, sporting events, celebrated. So the birth date of King George III, June 4th, was observed from the late 18th century to decades after his death in 1820. On Victoria's 35th birthday in 1854, some 5,000 residents of Canada West gathered in front of Government House near present-day King and Simcoe Streets in Toronto, the T.O. to give cheers to their queen. An example of typical 19th century celebration of Quebec's birthday took place May 24th. Also in Canada West, the town mounted a day-long fete or party, including pre-dawn serenades, picnics. Pre-dawn? Who's singing before dawn? Like, keep her down. Guy's trying to get 40 winks here. Anyways, athletic competitions. Who knows? Maybe there would be some, architectural building design competitions. A display of illuminations. What does that mean? Fireworks? Just say fireworks. Torchlight procession and a gun salute at midnight. So yeah, all kinds of hullabaloo and so on and so forth to celebrate Queen Victoria's birthday. And a lot of it's put into law now, so you get the day off with pay or whatever, and that's pretty good there, bud. Celebrating the old gal's birthday, and it becomes a holiday and a long weekend that kind of sort of kicks off summer. And that's how the whole thing started. Victoria Day or May long weekend there, eh? But it's May 2-4, says Digital Archaeology. But it's May 2-4. Yeah, that's right. In other words, a 24 case of beer there, bod. 24 cases of beers. On May 2-4, you get yourself a 2-4, eh? And you know what? You suck it up and you go camping anyways.
Oh, hello, loyal subjects. 'Tis I, your right, a proper ruler, leader, and divine given monarch, Queen Victoria. We are so pleased and so amused that you've chosen myself, ourselves, my birthday, our royal birthday, to discuss on your fine program.
Well, thank you for being here, Your Majesty. Guy appreciates it and whatnot. Thanks a lot, and happy birthday.
Well, good day to you and to all of your audience, I suppose. Yes. I shall be off now to attend many festivities in our honor. Good day to you and to all royal subjects. I bid you a fond adieu.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks. She thinks she'd at least have a smile or a smirk on that mug of hers for it's your birthday. There's all kinds of pomp and circumstance that you'd think you'd be at least crack a grin. You could do that. No? Well, speaking of the old gal, I guess, I don't know. Let's have a quick look at Queen Victoria. Might as well. What's the hubbub about her? Why is she so great that Canada Land just, propping her up there and celebrated her birthday? She's the last British monarch of the old world, by the way. She's the last sort of pre-reset, I believe. Anyways, Victoria, Alexandrina Victoria, born May 24th, 1819 and passed January 22nd, 1901, was Queen of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland from the 20th of June, 1837 until her passing January 1901. I don't even give the actual day. They said she died sometime in January. Her reign of 63 years and 216 days, so I guess you can do the math from that, was longer than those of any of her predecessors. Constituted the Victorian era. You don't say. It was a period of industrial, political, scientific, and military change within the United Kingdom and was marked by a great expansion of the British Empire. In 1876, the British Parliament voted to grant her the additional title of Empress of India. Victoria was the daughter of Prince Edward, Duke of Kent and Strathearn, the fourth son of King George III, and Princess Victoria of Saxe-Coburg Saalfeld. Never heard the Saalfeld, but I've heard the Saxe-Coburg. Of course. After the deletions of her father and grandfather in 1820, she was raised under close supervision by her mother and her comptroller, John Conroy. Oh, sir, John Conroy. Excuse me. She was inherited the throne at the age of 18 after her father's three elder brothers all mysteriously died without surviving legitimate issue. So they didn't have any heirs. So she got it. Victoria, a constitutional monarch, attempted privately to influence government policy and different ministerial appointments. Publicly, she became a national icon who was identified with strict standards of personal morality. Oh, absolutely. The old gal didn't mess around. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, absolutely. Channel 53 in the boxes. That was a long run. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they have a lot of titles, the royals. Yeah, Sir this and Duke that. So this person of personal morality married her first cousin. So yeesh. Prince Albert of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha, there we go, in 1840. Their 9 children married into royal and noble families across the continent, earning the old gal another nickname, the grandmother of Europe. Yeah, I would say. After Albert's passing in 1861, Victoria plunged into deep mourning and avoided public appearances. As a result of her seclusion, British republicanism temporarily gained strength. But in the latter half of her reign, her popularity recovered. Her golden and diamond jubilees were times of public celebration. Victoria passed at Osborne? Yeah, Osborne House on the Isle of Wight. What was she doing way over there? At the age of 81. The last British monarch of the House of Hanover. She was succeeded by her son, Edward VII of the House of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha. And yada yada, a little bit of her and her family history and her reign and so on and so forth. So that's a little bit about Queen Victoria. Queen Victoria. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Prince Albert and a cat. We sure do. We better let him out before he suffocates. That's an oldie but a goodie. Digital archaeology. That's why Prince Albert National Park in Saskatchewan, for cousin's marriage and all jokes. Yeah. Really? Do they joke about people in Saskatchewan marrying each other's cousins? Is that a thing in Saskatchewan? Like to be joked about? Not that it's an actual thing. I'm sure it's not. I think that's just overall a rural folk thing. Other people in the Appalachians, they're all married to each other's cousins. I don't think it's quite like that, although I'm sure cases of it in the past. But the royals, for sure. Come on, the royals, they're just projecting. They're what they do. They project that we do. Oh, those filthy, dirty, unwashed masses down there. They've all intermarry and so on. Yeah, no, it's you guys. But who knows? Who knows? Baha saying, was Henry VIII the guy that would get drunk and eat like 5 normal dinners? Yeah, I think that's the guy. I think that's him. He blowed out really quick. You know what I'm saying? He that's that's a good one. It's a good one, Kathy. I don't know if I should repeat it, but it's a good one.
I wet my jockeys here.
Yeah, there's the strong family resemblances, but there also was that one the crazy chin, that one offshoot of the family, the Habsburg chin. Wasn't that a thing? I don't know. Yeah, title saying they didn't want to taint the bloodline. Yes. I don't know. Not fond of first cousin marriage, though. So, yeah, it's just, you know what I'm saying? Come on now. Come on, man. Anyways, so they named this city out on Vancouver Island, out in British Columbia land there. They named it Victoria after her. So let's see what the Wikipedia, as per usual, with all their shenanigans, has to say about Victoria, British Columbia. Well, first of all, it's the capital city of the province. So they decided to put the capital out on a hard-to-access island back in the 1870s. So that's smart. But anyways, it's the capital city of the Canadian province, British Columbia. On the southern tip, just the tip now, of Vancouver Island off Canada's Pacific coast. It has a population of just shy of 92,000. And the Greater Victoria area, has a population of 397 plus thousand. City of Victoria is the 7th most densely populated in Canada land. Yada, yada. It's the southernmost major city in Western Canada and is about 100 kilometers, about 60 miles southwest from British Columbia's largest city of Vancouver on the mainland. City is about 100 clicks or 60 miles from Seattle. Look at that, smack dab right in between Vancouver and Seattle. 62 miles in either direction. I don't know. Is that coincidence? I'm not sure if that's coincidence or not.
I think I can smell shite. Yes, I can definitely smell shite.
So, okay. Anyways, seaplane, ferry, yada, yada, yada. Okay, sure. Named for Queen Victoria, the city is one of the oldest in the Pacific Northwest, with British settlement beginning in 1843. Oh, did I say 1870? Sorry, 1840s. Excuse me. Jumped the gun by 3 decades there. Sorry about that, eh? The city has retained a large number of its historical buildings, in particular its 2 most famous landmarks, the Parliament buildings, not Parliament as in flashlight, feel all right. Dragon Sage in the box, taking time out from his 16-hour work days. Good to see you. Beautiful video today of that gorgeous building, Sage. Thanks for shooting in there, buddy. Anyway, the city has retained a large number of its historic buildings, particularly to Parliament buildings. They were finished in 1897 and home of the Legislative Assembly of British Columbia and the Empress Hotel in 1908. The city's Chinatown is second oldest in North America after San Francisco. Really? The region's Coast Salish First Nations peoples established communities in the area long before European settlement. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Which had large populations at the time of European exploration. Yeah, they got there and they were like, shit, bot, we got everything here. Trees, food, fish, fresh water, and the ocean's right there, bot. Like, we ain't got to go nowhere. We could settle. We could farm crops. We could go fishing. The weather's nice. It hardly ever snows or gets below 0 out here. Shit, bud, we're just going to hang out here, eh? Passenger of Castles in the box. Hello. Good to see you. Thanks for shooting in there. There's Phil as well. Phil Henry. Hello. So, why would they go anywhere? Of course, there'd be large populations. I've, just as a quick little side note, a quick little plug for Reset 1700 coming up here very shortly. My documentary film, feature-length film. There were very large settlements of different Indigenous First Nations all around Vancouver Island, that is, Vancouver Island, and on the mainland. From California all the way up to North British Columbia and even norther still. There were Russian villages and settlements. There were British villages and settlements, a la Francis Drake. There were many Indigenous First Nations villages. There were different colonies from Spain. That's right, Spain. So yeah, there was a hub of activity going on around here. Known as the Garden City, Victoria is an attractive city and is a popular tourism destination. As a regional technology center has risen to the yada, yada, yada. Okay, who cares? History. Prior to the arrival of Europeans in the late 1700s, the greater Victoria area was home to several communities of Coast Salish peoples, including the Lekwungen and the Sanish people. Butchering those pronunciations, I'm sorry. The Spanish and British took up the exploration of the northwest coast, beginning with the visits of Juan Perez in 1774, James Cook. Did I say Drake? That's what I meant to say. It was Cook in 1778. Though the Victoria area of the Strait of Juan de Fuca was not explored until 1790. Spanish sailors visited Esquimalt Harbor, just west of Victoria, in 1790. James Douglas was there. All kinds of Europeans there. Erected in 1843 as a Hudson's Bay Company trading post. There it is. Originally called Camosac, not Camel's Back, Camosac, meaning rush of water. Camosac sounds like a piece of military equipment, doesn't it? Don't forget your Camosac with your canteen there, bud. And your first aid kit and your ammo, meaning rush of water. Known briefly as Fort Albert, the settlement was renamed Fort Victoria in November 1843 in honor of Queen Victoria. So there you go. And then it gives you a little bit more about different treaties signed with First Nations there, and then the founding of different towns and buildings and so on and so forth. Very interesting. Very interesting. I think I have, what do I have here? One more link? I do have one more link. This one, I'm not going to go through it because what I did was I went through it yesterday evening and last night when I got home from work, and I pulled some of the more notable photos, but I did want to share the links. So the very last link that's shared down in the description box below there is a link for this, and this is archivesvictoria.ca, and just a really, really excellent source here. And even when you filter it, it's more than 3,000 photographs of some more modern structures, right? Like this built in the 40s, late 40s, fire hall, fire station, fire brigade station, house, whatever. But a lot of the photos are taken in the 40s of much older buildings and a bunch of old characters like these as well. So I scrolled through the thousands and I plucked quite a few. So, but this is the link for where I got a lot of the photos that we'll be having a look at here shortly. The second half of the show. Water the tree. Hello. Good to see you. Thanks for shooting in. Hello, hello. So where are we at here? 40 minutes. 40 minutes.
Hello, loyal subjects just returning. We are just returning from a royal engagement to celebrate our birthday, Victoria Day. And we wanted to once again thank you ever so much for your kind attention to our royal date of birth on your broadcast, I suppose. We'd like to sincerely thank all of you for your celebratory remarks and kind words. Now it is off to another engagement. We thank you ever so kindly. Good day.
Yeah, well, have fun. Maybe have, instead of tea, have some gin. And that might crack a smile on you there, lady. I don't know. You're awfully dour, aren't you? I don't know, just saying. Anyway, about 45 minutes into the show, what do you say we take a quick mid-show break? Give you a sneak peek at your upcoming midweek. As always, if you're new here, or as a reminder, every live show here on the Sunday show, I give you a sneak peek at your upcoming Wednesday video, which is vintage footage stuff. Find old-timey video, film footage, put it together with some music. I try to keep it Canadian. Put it up for you every Wednesday. So I like to give you a little bit of a preview of that here on the live show every Sunday. Then, of course, every Friday, boots on the ground. And then back Sunday for the next week's live. This is 1940s roller skating video, but it's not what you think. If you've got little ones, maybe send them into the next room. Maybe send them into the next. It's not. What's going on with the camera, by the way? I don't know. Anyway, I'm distracted now. It's not, rated R or anything, but just be warned. All right, just we'll put it to you that way. You've been warned. 1940s Foxy Roller. About 4 minutes long-ish. And this is an oldie but a goodie. So smoke them if you got them. Turn dial up to 11 there, bud. And then put on your ear goggles, right? Your big head cans. And yeah, we'll see you on the other side of just around 4 minutes. Thanks, everyone. Be right back. Cheers. All right. And we are back. What'd you think of that? Yeah, classic song. That's a good Canadian tune right there, eh? So, yeah. I agree, Hippie. Hippie Shake says, weren't the ladies in the past very elegant? Yeah. Well, you know, it's lady is the right term. They acted ladylike and feminine and lovely, you know? Yeah, I thought it was kind of a cool clip. That one was not a chore to edit. Let's put it that way. Huh? No, she didn't. She didn't fall over. That's right. Cousin Vinny says, well, she didn't fall over at least. Yeah, for the 40s, you know, roller skating around the neighborhood. I forgot to tell you, pay attention to the old buildings and old cars in the background, by the way. But yeah, that's, you know, anyway. Yeah. But yeah, definitely spicy. So, yeah, welcome back once again, Frankie, New West Reset. Thank you once again for shooting in, joining a fella here for another live one. New West Reset Live, episode 118. Victoria, Queen City of the Old World. Talking about the city of Victoria on Vancouver Island over there in British Columbia land, just west of the Rockies from where I am. Beautiful old world city on the island, named after Queen Victoria. And it's the Victoria Day long weekend celebrating Queen Victoria's birthday here in Canada there, eh, buddy? It's kind of a big deal here, eh? So figured, hey, we will let's have a look at Victoria, the city, that is. So the top half of the show, we kind of looked at, you know, some of the usual, you know, Wikipedia
shenanigans
and everything that goes along with all of that. So if you haven't already, thanks for joining me, and give a guy one of these. Thanks, everybody, for all your support. Thanks for winding down your weekend here with yours truly on Sunday Fun Day. Now we're kind of poking around, getting cheeky with the Queen Victoria there, but, you know, I kind of don't mind the old gal for whatever reason. I don't know, got a soft spot for her. So, you know, I'm not making fun of the British or the, you know, people from the UK. I myself am descended from some that have come from England. So, you know, typical Canadian, you know, got a little bit of British in me, got a little bit of French, got a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Just sprinkle it in there and add some maple syrup, and stir and let it bubble. And then you chase it down with a nice beer there, buddy. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought it'd be kind of fun to have a look at, you know, the old gal and her city namesake. You know, just goofing around here. No harm intended.
You know what I mean? All right, we're having a good time.
Digital archaeology says Victoria has the BC legislature, and that is very out of place. Definitely old. Yeah, we're definitely going to be taking a look at that, amongst many other old buildings that, I mean, that not even, you know, kind of in the smaller towns and areas outside of Victoria, just right in Victoria. I mean, you know, that whole area of British Columbia and the Pacific Northwest of the United States, you know, Washington, and then along the coast of Washington, Oregon, and of course, California is just, you know, a chain or a pearl necklace or something of glorious old world cities. So what do you say here? We have a little peekaboo at some old photographs of Victoria, the city again. It's very confusing. Talking about the city here now, not the lady, not the queen. It's not a huge folder, but I don't know. I've got just over a couple of dozen. I don't know, a couple of dozen or something. Some nice, little bit of everything. As mentioned, definitely the legislature buildings, which are like, your state, state capitol buildings in the United States. That's the same idea. And they looked identical. Huh. Funny that. Imagine. You don't say. Turtle says, I could have taken her in a race on them roller skates, eh? Yeah. Dragon Sage says, a healthy lady. Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. Definitely healthy. All right, let's see what we're having a look at here. Might as well get a bird's eye view of the place. This is 1889. So you can already see. Incredibly built out. This is just a drawing. I don't know why they didn't take a photo. Oh, I hear a Canada goose outside my window. Hold on, people. Might as well give you an update on the Cobra chicken / murder turkey Canada goose situation. There was a couple that had nested on the roof of my building a few weeks back, and the weather was nice. I went to sit out there and have myself a nice cold wobbly pop in the heat of the afternoon, and there was one perched right up there. I live on the top floor, and it was just looking down at me, hissing, threatening. But I think they have since moved on, because I haven't seen it up there for about a week or so now. And I just heard one outside, but I think it was just flying by. It's fine. Anyway, back to this. Really built out. It's a massive, churches with spires, big, huge buildings. And of course, bridges and docks and ports and harbors. And that's part of the narrative of Victoria. This is Bastion Square, as in Bastion Fort, as in the old fort that was there. Yeah, that's exactly it. So this is 1862. This building was built. This is Bastion Square, the building named after the Bastion Fort. I love these kinds of photographs. We have this massive brick and stone structure that's at least 3 floors, but who knows? It could be, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's at least 4 floors. It could be 5, 6. Of course, built on a nice slant there, so you've got different size windows, because that's how you want to do that. What happens if somebody breaks this window and this window? You can't just order 2 of the same glass. You got to pay the guy extra to install different, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, you look at this magnificent structure, and then you look at this guy. Okay. It's looking very tattered, and I don't know if this kind of guy or people like this built that, but just saying. This is Government Street, so very close to the legislature building. As mentioned, we'll have a look at that glorious thing in a bit here. You can see they've the street car, the tram, the trolley. There it is in the back. They got that all lined up already, and we're still a horse and buggy stage. Oh, and bicycle, though. So there you go. There's that. Big, massive buildings here. Now, it is a beautiful city from what I can remember. Like I said, I haven't been there for a really, really long time. But I do remember it being an absolutely beautiful city. Oh, sorry, Kathy. Most of the photos at the beginning of this folder are 1880s to about 1910, with a few exceptions. And then we get into some of those photos that are from the 1940s. Wiley says, get yourself a BB gun to protect from them Cobra chickens. Yeah, they're a protected bird up here, man. If I did that, they'd put the bracelets on me. You know, the sterling silver. No, the not sterling silver. The stainless steel bracelets on a guy, and that put me in the hooskow, man. They put me in the clink. Look at this beauty. Not even sure what this is. A hotel, maybe. Can't quite read that. What you want to bet this cockamamie little shack right here is to actually get down into the lower floors, because it seems like you've got to go up about 8 or 10 stairs to get into what I'm guessing they're saying is the main floor entrance here. But anyway, kind of a cool conical dome on it there. Of course, you got to have the little mystery tech on top, some kind of antiquitech of some sort. So this is the Empress Hotel, and it's right on the old harbor. And you can see these massive stones in this harbor that go right down into the water. And you can tell by the people, there's a guy standing here, a couple of fellows, okay? A couple of dudes standing here. Let's assume their average height, 5 foot. Let's say they're 5'10" even. So look at the size of these massive blocks. And some of them are even longer. So you can see there's a course of long, narrow ones and then kind of fatter, shorter ones. I don't know. You get what I'm getting at. And then, you know, you would just want to build in some, you know, observation platforms out of stone too, and put some techie light fixtures on them while you're at it, because that's easy. Yeah, there you go. Super soaker. Yeah, they're gone now. But let me tell you, you think a can of goose is afraid of water? Getting sprayed with water? I think more than anything else, I would just get it all riled up, and then it would have just attacked my face. This is the Clarence Hotel, Douglas Street and Yates Street. Yeah, Yates Street. Look at this. It's pretty fancy. It's quite beautiful looking. Now, some of these are taken from postcards, so you have to forgive. It's a little pickolated-ish. Even this one here in the background, too, with that dental molding along there and sort of a mansard roof on it. Another hotel. This is the St. Francis Hotel. Strictly first class, centrally located. Well, there you go. No second or third class people allowed. All right. But what gets me about this is, yeah, the nice tight brickwork, of course, the beautiful bay windows with all of these fancy embellishments, you know, arched windows and so on. But it's this is on a sort of a 45-degree angle. Of course, they've got to put their crappy sign on there, you know. Hotel St. Francis. All right, sure. You got the cupola with another sort of a curved, I'm going to say, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, octagonal dome. I don't know, but this 45 is very unusual. It's actually at a 90 to the main door because the door is on the corner. So this front door and this are at a, you know, they line up. But it's just crazy. It's a crazy building. It's beautiful, but very unusual. Yeah, that's right. Kathy Broad says the blocks are bigger than the people. Yeah. You know, and they're doing that in the harbor, like in the water, where ships and boats come in. So, you know, it's not like it's, you know, along a river that's 5, 6, 10 feet deep. It's basically, for all intents and purposes, the Pacific Ocean. This, of course, is the Carnegie Library, because you want to have, you know, a library that looks like an old world, I don't know what, some kind of government building or something. I mean, it's pretty fancy to be, you know, just put your books in there, bot. Big massive columns. Again, all of this fancy detail all along here. Not sure what's going on with this parade, but some kind of hullabaloo. Look at, again, the massive stonework. Big, huge arch here, and then up here too. Sure, we'll just throw a couple of them in. It's not a problem, bud. We'll get her done for you, eh? So here's another view of the hotel, and then the harbor. And there's the legislature building in the background. And then, of course, you get the beautiful mountains too. So this is what a beautiful shot that is. Yeah, that's kind of my thoughts too. Digital archaeology says those are castles. Yeah, they just, you know, slap a name. It's a hotel now. I'm with you on that, Kathy. Kathy Broaden says fancy. Yeah, I mean, that's all you got to say, right? Yeah, and this shot, really wide streets, allows for 2 streetcar lines here, as well as vehicular traffic. And then you've got big wide sidewalks too. Look, there's a guy. There's a couple of fellers. So the sidewalk's super wide. It's just like they had all the time, all the money, all the resources, and all the space, all the room in the world to put this big, wide thoroughfare that meanders in and around these old world buildings. This nice dome up here and a tech. And you got this in the back, which isn't a building either. It's a complex. It's a part of a complex. You know, and then this, again, with that wall. Come on, man. Come on. Yeah, that's, well, definitely more than likely, especially when you get into, you know, canals and so on. Yeah. But yeah, melted Syracuse, New York, and the boxes, waterways were not built in the water. They were built for the water. Yeah, so it was built and then flooded in. I mean, that's Occam's razor right there. It's a lot easier to do that. So the customs house right here, part of that whole complex as well. Beautiful old building. But you can see even down here along the water, we've got all kinds of wacky stuff going on, right? Like basically on the water. And I don't know what's happening here, if this is some kind of viaduct now to level everything else with all of these bridges, but you've got this street here, but you can see there's roads that go down. And the street continues here, but then you've got, this would be street level, I'm guessing. But then you've got this level here, which is below street level. And then what looks like another one. There's a fence going down along here. Sorry, it's, again, so pickolated. But you see what I'm getting at, though? So how does this go down? Not only here, this is below street level, but does it go down another entire floor? Probably. This in the background. So this is the City Hall in Victoria, 1868. This was supposedly built. (1868), huh? Okay. Right on the coasts of an island off the mainland of Western Canada, in the Pacific Ocean. Just super easy there, eh, bud? No problem, eh? We'll just get her up there and done for you. I'm not sure what's going on here. Some kind of project. It's a damn mess, though, whatever it is. You can just see something funny under each of these windows too. Is it just me? Are you seeing that? A glorious structure. It's a nice wide shot of the harbor and the legislature building, but again, it's a whole series of complexes. But there's one back here, this one over here, back there. You know, the customs house, all of that jazz. But again, look at this. And all of these observation decks that jut out. So I don't know, I guess, buddy's walking along here, wants to take a picture. You can just step out here, take a photo. I don't know. Maybe you can go fishing. Not sure, but that doesn't look so great. So this is Government Street looking north. So again, it looks like you've got your bridge here, which seems to be, this is even going up from the bridge a little bit. So your street level is, right here. So all of this is below street level at the back of these buildings compared to the street. Very unusual. There's that again. And there's your level of sophistication, by the way. Horse and cart, horse and buggy. Look, there's where you're hauling. Sacks of, I don't know, sugar, coffee, wheat, flour, I don't know, barley, beans. I have no idea. But in the meantime, this with this. So this is Hatley Castle. Well, at least they're being forthright enough to call it a castle. Story is that had the tide of WW2 not gone the way it was by the official narrative, this would have been one of the royal family's places that they would have been hunkered down in. Was it WW2 or WW1? I want to, maybe even WW1. Anyways, the plan was to exile to here, I guess, or something. I don't know. There it is from another angle. Look at the stonework and all of this. Absolutely beautiful. And then we'll do the same thing in the wood carvings as well around the eave. The stone cutters and the wood carver guys, they're just in super competition with one another here with this, man. It's beautiful. So this is the inner harbor. Again, you have the hotel in the background. Just again to give you an idea of the size of this. Dragon Sage in the boxes. Sorry, gang, I'm fading. I have to be up for work at 3:30 a.m. Yeah, that's early, bud. Rest easy and have a good one. Thanks for shooting in, and appreciate it. Good to see you. Let's just, these things are huge, man. That is just an incredible undertaking, no matter how it was done. It's just pretty mind-boggling. This looks like a much earlier photo. I'm not sure what's going on here. Just the attention to detail. Way up here were these cowpokes. I wonder if these are painted in. I'm not even sure if these are real folks. It's hard to tell because the photo's not the best quality. Sorry about that. Looks like at the very least they've been highlighted with paint or pen and ink. It's definitely been manipulated, though. But what I was going to say was these cowpoke folks, you know, they're not even paying attention to this, let alone appreciating it, let alone building it. Philip Clark in the box says, New West Reset. Thank you for the LA member gift yesterday. Oh, my pleasure there, bud. Yeah, great channel over there, Lucius Aurelian. Hope you enjoy that. He does a lot of members-only content, so you're fixing to get yourself some good stuff there, bud. There it is again. Amazing, man. Just amazing. Just, you know, dome, 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 dome. They just got silly with it. This looks like, especially with this huge promenade in front, this huge wide open area, this looks like it could be in Europe somewhere. You know what I mean? Nope, Canada land. This looks very funny to me. You definitely see a line of discoloration all the way along here, or at least I do. Maybe even a couple. Although it's definitely been, looks like damage. Might be damage. But either way, this door is looking very rough. You know what I mean? Like the building is just looking really old. You know, if they tell us 1890s, early 1900s, which is, you know, of course, that's the story for Victoria. I mean, this is already looking a couple of 100 years old. Not to mention this little fella in the back, you know. But there's something hanky going on here, at least to my eye. But that notwithstanding, you know, the beautiful detail along here, and get some spheres or bobules up here. Not sure what that's all about. Just amazing. But looking like it's seen some action or something. Can't read that, sorry. Yeah, Wiley Metz says it's been there a bit longer, in my opinion. Yeah, that's for sure. Dr. Photo, the other one or this one? Well, this one's had something going on. I was going to say at first they were matting it out to do a postcard, but this looks like damage here of some kind. And this looks damaged. But I don't know. Could be manipulated. It's tough to tell, right? This basically, you know, we got to just go on a wing and a prayer with a lot of these old photos. So now we're getting into this part of the folder here is the photos that were taken in the 40s. So there'll be a little bit of better photos. But obviously you're going to see from the vehicles early 40s for these. But the building is obviously much older. Again, the buildings, they're dating, you know, late 1880s, 1890s to just prior to WW1. There's a beauty here. The Yorkshire building. Look at these capitals on these big columns. Pretty fancy for such a tiny little place. Something's been blanked out here, but you can see a face up here. A couple of fascies by the looks of it. Yeah, I would say. And then maybe cornucopia with some fruitage, apples and whatnot. A lot of fruit grows in British Columbia. A lot of orchards, peaches, apples, apricots. nectarines, cherries, berries. It gets silly with the fruit and vegetables out there. It's a lovely building. Again, if you've been around the channel for a while, you know me. I got this soft spot. I don't know why. I love these buildings. That the main entrance is on the front corner of the building as opposed to, I mean, they have other entrances on the streets, but you just come boom right in here. I don't know why. I dig it. I just do. This nice little detail up here. And I bet you there was more going on. Again, these photos taken early 40s. So how much you want to bet there was a fancier, something that mirrored this up here at some point. Grander scale, you know. Howdy, Vaughn. Our buddy Vaughn's here. Good to see you. Good day, good day. The lions eat them, obviously. I'm not sure what the lions are eating. I missed something. Sorry. Sorry about that, eh? The lions are eating something. The lions eat the lions are eating the roof. The roof? So this is a biscuit factory. Cookies, actually. They're cookies, but biscuits. Not like biscuits and gravy or hot butter biscuits, fresh popping hot out of the oven. No, biscuits as in sweet cookies, what we call cookies. But anyways, it's supposed to be a factory, but, you know, we might as well have these huge arches with huge arch windows inside them. But I guess that's a window. But then you've got these really low windows down here. I just thought it had a lot of character, considering it was just supposed to be a cookie factory. You know, they put this inlay in here with the keystone. A little bit of fanciness up here. Stacked brick here. It's just a lot of bother, you know, for a cookie factory. I think something like this was altered. It was dumbed down and was repurposed after the reset. To now we're making cookies out of here now. Can't remember what building this is. I thought this was interesting. And again, you know, fancy arched entranceways. You gotta go a bunch of stairs to get into it. But you've got a level here, and then you've got a level down here that has arched windows. And what's a door here is now a big fancy window. I don't know. So something hinky going on with that. You know what I mean? Because you've got a level here, and they've got to put a big concrete barricade with a fence. Like, don't drive off here now, buddy, because it goes down about 10 feet there, eh? So I don't know.
That doesn't make sense.
It's just odd. That's right. You call cookies biscuits in the UK. Yes. Over here, Americans and Canadians, I would say an overwhelming majority of Canadians. I mean, if you're going to go, I'm going out on a limb here, and I'm going to go beyond my 80-20 rule and say 90% of Canadians call what you call biscuits, we call cookies. Because what we call biscuits are biscuits. You know what I mean? Like buttermilk biscuits made out of flour and like baking powder and butter and salt and whatever, you know, and you make these little biscuits and you pop them in the oven and you dip them in gravy. They're like a Yorkshire pudding kind of idea where you would have it with, I don't know, you have it with anything. Some gravy, roast beef and gravy. Hell, you can have biscuits in the morning with your breakfast. But yeah, biscuits, cookies, that's the confusion. It's so confusing. Vaughn says we call biscuits buns in Australia. But wait, what kind of buns? I love a nice pair of buns, he says. Well, you missed the sneak peek at the vintage footage, then you would have caught an eyeful. Ho-ho! Yeah, cookies and gravy. Cookies and gravy does not sound great at all. You're absolutely right. That's why when people from the UK hear the term biscuits and gravy, they think to themselves, God damn, they're putting gravy on cookies over there? Sausage and biscuits. There you go. Yes, sausage and biscuits. Yeah. Yeah, I get where you're coming from there, Title. Yeah. See, we have buns here too. We get like dinner buns, right? They're the little, they could be crusty rolls, or they could be like the little soft little spongy little soft little, dinner buns. Yeah. Like little pan breads, little pan, you bake them in a little tiny little pans. You know what I'm saying? A scone. Sort of like a plain scone, kind of, sort of. But you're not putting, it's not going to have a little bit of sweet, and it's going to rise a little more. But yeah, it's kind of like a scone. Yeah. Yeah. It's really, yeah. See, you see how dumb it all is, the biscuits and the cookies thing. All right, moving on. We'll just build this on a weird slope. Probably not. But, by the 40s, some of these are looking pretty tired, but again, the details, pay no attention to what looks like a smashed window there. But again, you've got all these beautiful arched windows, but then they've run a band of some kind of different colored stone or a different colored brick or something. And then this all along here. Again, your corner entrance, love it. But see, what's your ground level to get into the building here is now way up here, you see? Shout out to Biscuits and Gravy. Melted Syracuse, New York says, stop it. My mom made the best beef biscuits and gravy. Yeah. Biscuits and sausage gravy. There you go. That's right. Now, see, in the UK, with the Queen Victoria, you would have biscuits, which are cookies. So they're sweet biscuits or cookies that you would have with a cup of tea. You might have other sweets and cakes as well. We've been talking about Queen Victoria here, and she was known to have a sweet tooth or two. She enjoyed her sweets and her cakes and pies. The sweeter, the better. So, you know what I'm saying?
Hello! Did someone say cake? Hello, my royal subjects, 'tis us, the royal and right ruling monarch, Queen Victoria, celebrating our birthday this Victoria Day, and I heard you say cake, you see, and we love cake. And don't think that we didn't hear that cheeky comment that we never smile. Look at the beautiful smile upon our royal visage right now at this moment as we speak. I also did hear the comment about the gin, and that was a spanking brilliant idea, if I do so say. Yes, we did partake in some gin. Gin and cookies, as you would say. No, not at all. Just straight gin and cake. And with that, tally-ho!
All right, thank you. Anyway, an old theater here. Look at this. This is in Chinatown. How can you guess? Can you guess that it's in Chinatown?
That's crazy!
I'm just saying, because of the thing. But even a tiny little building like this, you can see there's all kinds of little details on it. I don't even know what's going on here, man. This is actually a part of one. Did I get another shot of it? No, I didn't. It's part of actually a big block, a big building. There's sort of a centerpiece that's like this, but wider, and then another one of these on the other side, on the left-hand side of the screen flanking, and then another one of these at the end. And each section has one of these. Oh, it's a flagpole. Well, why is there? Why is there 5 flagpoles? I don't think there were flagpoles. But anyways, speaking of lions, Cousin Vinny mentioned lions. There's some lions here, here, here. Each one of these tips has a lion on it. So I just thought this was very, very interesting. I don't know. This thing is just glorious. Look at the size of these massive arched windows here. And then here. I mean, it's not hard to picture this as another 20 feet, going another 20 feet down with one more arch. And that's the actual entrance to the building, you know, the main floor. Because again, there's a bit of a slope here. All this ornamentation, even with these lines in the way, you can see just beautifully decorated. And all this up here. Like, that's just a lot of extra work. Like, make the windows as big as possible, Bob. We really want her looking bright and shiny in there, eh? I don't know. Hey, Scott. Scott Pike in the box. Good to see you. Got to have your brewery, of course. This is actually small as far as breweries go. I'm not sure if this is actually the brewery or if the Lucky Lager beer has just slapped a giant advertisement on it, because I can't read this, unfortunately. But I'll just throw it out there. It's a brewery. It's got a stack. It says Lucky Lager beer. Beautiful. Yeah. Can you hear the tappity tap of the rain on the window, by the way? Chassis Nix is here. Good to see you, Chassis. Howdy, howdy. Welcome. Look at this. Beautiful. The stonework around that arch. And again, you know, if you're just brewing beers in there, Bod, then why do you need to make it all so fancy? Again, it's not big. It's not like, you know, the Anheuser-Busch brewery. And what is it, St. Louis? But this is on an island in Canada land, you know. This is somewhere in Chinatown. The something Sin Tong charity. The poor, the Moor Sitong? The Mao Sitong? I don't know. I don't know what it says. But there it is. I don't care what it says, actually. It's the building. Even on the side here, arched windows. It's obviously been tampered with, but I mean, this is glorious here. Come on. Beautiful. And then if we go up here, these to me look like crowns with, I don't know if that's like one of those pineapple shaped or pineal gland shaped, or if it's an orb. It's really hard to tell. If it's some kind of bobule, I'm going to just say that. Like, all these firescapes look like crap. And this has all been monkeyed with, but these might be old world here, these transom windows. But yeah, crowns with like little doodads on them or something. PCS World in the box says, yeah, I made it. Hi, everybody. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hello, hello. Hook Sin Ta. Yeah, could be. It looks like Hook.
Mook. It's Mook. Hey, you freaking Mook. What you doing over there? with that building, huh? You mook. Don't go messing around over here with that thing, eh? So now you know what I'm talking about with the whole New West Reset thing.
No.
What?
No.
What I said about Frankie Fingers. That Frankie
Oh,
Fingers
yeah.
a New West Reset of the sand.
Wait, what? I reckon North America, Canada was the original Holy Land. Been on that rabbit hole for a while and everything points at. Yeah, we're the Gulf of Mexico. Oh, sorry, the Gulf of America. Excuse me, sorry about that, eh? Was the Mediterranean, and America is the Holy Land. You know, and you've got, you know, what is it? Egyptian stuff found in the Grand Canyon and whatnot, supposedly. I mean, I don't know. It's possible. Cousin Vinny says it's Hook. I looked it up online. Okay, so it's the Hook Sin Tong charity building. Either way, it's in Chinatown in Victoria, anyways. They really love their massive stonework here, whether they continue with brick onward or not. It's lovely. Reminds me of a lot of the buildings here in Calgary where they use sandstone on the first level or two. Then they go brick, and then they embellish the top with more sandstone, and they'll do some sandstone inlays or capstones and so on. This has got that wrought iron or metal marquee or canopy held up by these. How much you want to bet these are like lions' faces with the mouths holding these up, by the way? Bet money, that's what that is. I'm willing to bet you dollars to good Canadian donuts there, eh? Can't quite read that, but the stack of a brick here too, this dental detail. Beautiful. Yeah, and balustrade the hell out of it too. That's right. Why do we only have Chinatowns? Why don't we have Italian towns? Well, we have Little Italy's, right? Calgary's got a Little Italy. Toronto's definitely got a Little Italy. And a Greek town. It depends on how it rolls off the tongue, I guess, is how they label it. Chinatown sounds better than Chinaville, maybe. I don't know. But Japantown or Japanese town sounds funny. Oh, train going by outside. This is very unusual. Look at this. A bit more maybe Art Deco-ish. And again, I bet you there was stuff on here that was knocked off. Very nice detail on that. It's a Kresge's. I think it became Kmart. Is that right? Kresge's became Kmart? Syracuse, New York. Yeah, we have a Little Italy. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. New York State. It's going to be a lot. Every city in New York State's going to have a lot. Is going to have a Little Italy. And then, of course, the Big Apple itself. A huge Little Italy. Italian town. Little Italy. See how fun it is to say Little Italy? Little Italy. Say it really fast. Little Italy. Little Italy. Little Italy. Little Italy. You see how fun that is to say? Now say Italian town. Italian town. Doesn't quite, you know what I mean? I know, I'm just getting silly with it. But that's a good question. I have no idea. I think it's just based on how it sounds. All right, we've got 6 villes and 6 towns as neighborhoods here. We've got Greek town. We've got Germantown, Chinatown. We've got Polishville. Like, we got to come up with something. How about Little? What do you mean? Like Little Italy. It's another beauty with, again, the details are, you know, the higher you go, that's where we're going to put most of the fancy stuff. So, you know, these ladies here doing their shopping at Owl Drugs or whatever jewelers, they're not even going to, Are they even going to see that? They're too busy not getting hit by this old Impala or whatever that is. Even these little buildings, beautiful. We're going to stack it and arch it. And then again, I bet you there was something up here they monkeyed with. Everybody monkeyed with this arched opening and this to modify it and put it in a regular door. Not to mention all this crap. But you could see the detail right here. Yeah, Kmart does sound better than Kresge's Mart. Yeah, Kresge Mart. Where are you going? I'm going to Kresge Mart. Sounds awful. Look at this place. Gordon Ellis Limited and Williamson's cameras, something with Kodaks. Oh, this is the Timothy Eaton store. I should have known. So this is a chain of department stores here in Canada started by Timothy Eaton. Eaton's, like the Bay, like Macy's and JCPenney and whatnot. So this was an Eaton store, or it is an Eaton store. Beautiful. Facaded in like a glazed ceramic, no doubt. Very nice. The dental molding here, and then whatever these little rosettes or whatever are. One of the trees says, let's start Peopletown. Well, he says, what about Germans and Norwegians? Germville, Weedstown. Well, we had a German town here in Calgary at one point. Excuse me. Sorry about that. At one point, we had a German town here. Then it became Chinatown, and then it became Little Italy. They moved Chinatown for some reason. I don't know why. Look at this fancy. It's just a tiny little place squished in here. But we're going to get silly fancy with it, whatever the hell that is. Wow. Just a little fella, but look how beautiful. That's not just painted on. You can see from the shadow, it's a three-dimensional relief or something. What is it? It's just a bakery. I just go in there to get buns and biscuits and cookies. Even the one next to it, too. Pretty fancy. The coining effect here and all of this. This one here, too. Furniture store. Furniture, heaters. Yeah, sure. Look at this. Like they took pride in the beauty of the aesthetics, form and function. If I remember correctly, this is the post office, one of the post offices. Could be a government building. You have to forgive me. But looking like something out of Rome or Greece. No, it's just in Canada land. Bit of a blurred photo. It's too bad because you can see that there's some nice details here. But even here with the capitals on these columns, looks like there might be a lower level, some shenanigans here maybe. It's hard to tell. Sorry, it's not the best photo. The exposure. You didn't adjust your exposure, Bob. Look at this. What the hell is this? Oh, it's just my house with all of this carved wood and all this fancy dental molding and this conical dome. I just live here. No, it's fine. You want to come in? Have some tea? Have some tea and biscuits?
Hello, we would rather have gin.
Yeah. All right. Party on, Queen. Party on. Another one, too. Look at this. Big stones. This is kind of odd, isn't it? Because it does look a little top-heavy or a little stout, right? Buddy's thinking that's a little squat looking there, eh? So if this was down another 6 or 8 feet, then this wouldn't be so weird, and then it wouldn't look so top heavy. You know what I mean? Now this one you can just tell. At one time was a butte. It looks like it's been covered in schmutz, but you can tell at one time a beautiful brick building. They've even stacked the brick on the chimney. Big, huge dormers and pediments. Just been dumbed down. I mean, if they do it with houses, they'll do it with larger buildings. Take all the glory off the top. This is just interesting. Almost looks like it should be in French Quarter of Nolans or something like that. You know what I mean? This place looks like it's been here a long time. All of this ivy or whatever, this foliage, these vines, whatever growing on it. Again, I bet you this had a mansard roof on it and they've knocked it off and buggered with it, but knocked in some goofy lower entrances down here. But you could tell by the angle of the street, obviously, that some kind of mud flood thing going on here, I'm guessing. But beautiful building. Just looking very, very old. Very aged. I'm not sure. EAM. I don't know what this is. Look at this. It's pretty nice. Mansard, or sorry, what do they call those windows again? You know what I'm talking about. You tilt these and then let the air exchange flow through. Hey, look, pavement lighting on the sidewalks as well, like prism lights. Tobacconist. Sure. Pipes all the way from London. Wait, London, Ontario? Or London, England? Transom, thank you. Transom windows. Just had a mental hiccup there. So I think the photographer was taking a photo of Joe Foster and Sons service station where you can get some petrol and some gasoline and get your wheel alignments and whatnot. But I'm noticing this in the background. I'm saying, hey, buddy, why didn't you get a zoom in on that? Why didn't you take a photo of this thing with all of these beautiful conical domes with all the tech? I mean, they got silly with this place here, didn't they, with these? Holy moly. Yeah, I mean, I'll admit, you know, that Chrysler looks cool and all that. And then there's a Chevy. But, I mean, come on, man. Even this one, too. Taking a photo of the wrong building there, Mr. Photographer Man. There's another one too. First Baptist Church in this Texaco station. Yeah, okay. Sure. There's a T-bird there, I think. I think that's a Thunderbird. Nice, but holy, what's... You get the damn fuel pumps right here, but look at this place. Got a big portal window here. You got the triple windows with the arches. This big, massive set of windows here. And then this ridiculous, I mean, it's so tall, it's cut off the top. The photo cut it off. And even this building here too, you know, these arches down here and all this fanciness. Again, it looks to be covered in vines or ivy or something, but this thing here, man. Like, why? Who cares about the Texaco. Look at that. Nope, gotta get a photo of Paul fueling up the old Chrysler or whatever. Again, yeah, sure, it's just my house. Just slapping a conical dome and a turret in front of it. Why not? I mean, it's small but beautiful. I'd live in a house like that in a second. I'd be inviting everybody in for tea. Yeah, come on, you want to sit up here? That's where I have tea up here. Got a little room up there. Another beautiful building. Again, the details. Big hue. I mean, I wonder what this was. Part of me wants to say that these were added on, but I don't know. I think just the freaking crappy fire escape was added on. And maybe these. Yeah, these were added. But I want to say these were original because they're, you know, they're pretty embellished. Got pediments built onto them. You know, this is pretty fancy up here. Yeah, that's right. Or the tree says it's for pewing arrows. Again, not the largest buildings. Like, we're not talking Vancouver here or Toronto or Montreal. Not even 1 million folks living in this city, but so while it might not be a massive, 8-story structure, I mean, they just spared no expense with the decorative elements on these things, no matter the size. King's Hotel. Even this one again here too with all the stacked brick and stuff, but this thing is just beautiful. And again, I'm just speculating, but I'm saying, they took stuff off of here. There was things on here, little bobules or tech or something. Looks like it's, I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's gone through some kind of renovation. All these windows covered up with something. That can't be the curtains, could it? Those god-awful curtains, if that's the case. Yikes. Ubucon says, I want that truck. Yeah, this GMC delivery truck right here. That's a nice, that's a beauty. I like the Beetle myself, I'm not gonna lie. I like the truck too, though. Oh, of course, Hudson's Bay Company. So not to be outdone by the Timothy Eaton department store chain, the Hudson's Bay Company is to come in here and put a store that's 10 times the size of the Eaton store. Well, I don't know why they have their own stack unless it's a building behind this building, maybe, but either way, the usual absolute gorgeous construction of the Hudson's Bay department store buildings. Big, huge columns, and capitals, and dental molding, and all the balustrades, and again, it's stone, and it's probably, at least the one here in Calgary, is it's completely covered in white glazed terracotta tile, and then it's embellished with black marble and pink granite or something. It's crazy. It's one heck of a large building too, man. Yeah, that's right. It only takes up a square block. Yeah, that's fine. Seems legit. Again, a tiny little place. Look how small this is, but what a beauty. This is the New England Cafe. I don't know why they're calling it New England. It's on the west coast of Canada. Unless they mean New England, not New England. You get what I'm getting at, but whatever. The beauty of a little building here. And, you know, they'll paint their stupid signs and put their dumb neon signs or whatever on it. But, I mean, this is beautiful here with this rounded detail here and here. Outstanding little building. Again, you got some more bobules up here. There's that place again. Man, oh man. The Oriental Hotel. Unbelievable. And again, look how wide these streets are. There isn't even a trolley or a tram line. No streetcar going down here, but we're still going to make it like a 6-lane highway. What in the Sam Steele is going on here? Nice shot of a few houses. Yeah, you know, just this is now a tea house, but I mean, that was somebody's house. Look at this place. Even that's no slouch, but look at this. You want to come in for tea? Hell yeah, I want to come in for tea. Why is your mouth completely agape like that? Because I'm dumbfounded and flabbergasted by your house. Even this in the background, too. Come on, man. Absolutely beautiful. What a place. Yeah. Kathy Broughton in the boxes. That's my house. Well, it's a beauty. Again, yeah, I mean, that's a lot of house, but I would live in that in a second. Especially right here along the water. Come on, man. Do a little fishing right here. Right here. Right here. Recruiting station. Sure, but look at this. Nice. Recruiting office of the 143rd Battalion. Okay. This gingerbreading effect here on this building in the back. Really nice. So this is the old hospital, the Victoria City General Hospital. Again, as you can see, it's actually a series, or it's a complex of buildings on a massive compound. But, you know, you need all this for your hospital. Because whoever's laying in here with the consumption of the TB, yeah, he's really going to give two shits about all this fancy stuff with all this tech. What is all this tech, man? Big stone retaining walls. I mean, it's incredible. But don't get me wrong. I'm glad they built it as beautifully as they did, but it's a hospital. Sort of, right? It sort of has some asylum vibes there, says Kathy Broughton. These pillars and everything, and this double-decker balcony, whatever that is. It's outstanding. So here's another library. Looking very odd. Again, very, very stout, very stumpy, top-heavy. Again, you've got these low windows all along the bottom, directly underneath full-size windows of the same width. And this line here, to me, this looks like it's fake or phony foundation. They're making it look like these are foundation stones, and then we built the rest of it out of stone here too. And this is just a basement. I bet you this goes down. Again, I'm speculating. It's conjecture, but because you've got this massive grand arch, but it's, I mean, here's a lady. Let's say she's 5'3", 5'2". You're going up 4 steps to get into this doorway. It's not so grand in height. And you've got all this fancy, I mean, it's very fancy. Beautiful building. With all of this detail. But yeah, I think so. Wiley mitts, very stout, I think, as well. It looks like, you know, the ground level should be down here where my pointer is right now. And this would be a big, you know, 15, 20-foot grand entranceway. And these windows would at least be the size of these windows, going down to about here. So your entrance with ground level should be down here. That's what it looks like to me. Yeah, Hippie Shake says sunken windows. So bird's eye view of Victoria. So you can see it's an entire complex. There's the hotel. There's another hotel. The customs house. But just incredible. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to assume 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. What are we at? 30 domes? 30 domes on this freaking thing? Yeah, it almost does look like a kingdom, right? I'd sing a compound, but or complex, but yeah, maybe a kingdom. An old world kingdom that was destroyed. Then it was found or founded. We'll name it after Queen Victoria. And this will be the capital of British Columbia. That explains away all these government buildings. Yeah, Kathy says, I think it was Canada's Taj Mahal. Domocracy. Ah, very good. I see what you did there. But I mean, come on, man. Are you kidding me with this? Are you kidding me?
Show me all the blueprints.
Again, not to mention the harbor with the massive wall that's all around here. Yay, caramba. Anyway, getting back to a little bit more modest buildings. This is the Kellogg drugstore building, and I say modest, but I mean, come on, man. Look at this little wonder. Look at it. So you can just see the little bit of tech left on the top there that they couldn't quite get out of the photo. Again, here, a little something. This one looks like a dome with a little bobule on it. But look, I mean, look at this. And again, these transom windows, they're all like checkerboard, stained glass, I'm guessing. And all these little inlays. This bobule. I mean, it's just a tiny little thing, but look at all this nonsense. An arch and then an outer arch. Medallions. And you got your little mud flood window here that's arched. Big tall doors with transom windows above them. These are all transom windows. This is a transom window. But then these down here are also windows. They let light down into the lower floor of this building, as evidenced by this mud flood window here. And the fact that the street clearly slopes downward as we progress down the street. But what a little beauty this is. They sure do. Yeah. Hippie Shake in the chat says they like their round towers. Scott Pike says domes are us. Yeah, man. Like, this is just a beautiful little building, man. Like, they just, you know how hard these curves are. Like, why bother for such a little building? You know, and again, it's also looking a little stout to me, but okay. There it is again here from this angle. As you can see, just the streets are just dirt and crap, just crud. But they've got their electric trolley, their tram. The old streetcars are rolling. Curtis is in the box. Hello, hello. Good to see you. Melted Syracuse says city's built for an enormous population, but where are all the people? Yeah, well, there's a guy there. There's a guy there and a guy there. But yeah, no, I see what you mean. We see these wide, expansive streets. You might see a couple of horses and buggies on there if they haven't been painted in. And there you go. Okay, we're going to end it off here with a couple of final shots of this thing because it's just magnificent. The legislature building, which is again a series of buildings. Victoria, British Columbia, right on Vancouver Island. This thing basically, a couple of 100 yards from the harbor, which is the ocean, the Pacific Ocean. I love this shot because it gives you a great idea of all the texture and all the stone and all the arch work done in stone. Each keystone above each arch. And then these are pillars or columns with, another little capital here. It's really hard to tell, but it's so exquisite. And then again, domes are us, right? I mean, come on. They just get silly with the domes. It's like domes are just easy. Oh, hell yeah. For Canada, we love whipping up the domes, bud. It's easy for us. And then not only do we put a dome, but then we put a cupola on it with another dome. So you actually double the number of domes. You counted 30? It's actually 60 domes there, buddy. Then we put a little guy up here, whoever that is. That might even be Queen Victoria herself, maybe. But what an exquisite, and of course a huge slope to the grounds because things up on a hill, and then you got to go up 114 million stairs. But what a place, man! That's right. Vincent says every member of the legislature gets their own dome. Yeah, every MP, that's their office with a nice skylight. Yeah, that's right. Kathy says it's just slapping domes on everything. Yeah, the dome business. I wish if I could go back, a time machine, and go back to like the 1860s-ish when they're telling us they started building stuff like this, I'd open me a dome factory or something. I'd be, a dome retail salesman. Here's a shot from a little bit of a different angle. This is VE Day, Victory in Europe Day from WW1. So this photo's taken at the end of WW1. Light's just hitting it a little differently. So you could see that, this is all huge windows here. And then in these niches or nooks are statues. And again, you've got medallions here with, I don't know whose faces are on those. Portals everywhere. Again, these cupolas and domes, they all have columns. All this, like, it just doesn't stop. It just does not stop. I'm left speechless. I know that's rare for me, but I am left absolutely speechless. It's just an incredible place, man. Like, could you imagine you just moved to Victoria from, I don't know, some little town, a little further on the mainland, some little logging town or village, some fishing village. And you decide, I'm going to move to Victoria. It's a bigger city, more opportunity. And you get off your ferry or the boat and you see this. Yeah. I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? You got a point there, Hippie. Hippie Shakes is surprised they let it survive. It was probably so pristine that even the cold, dead hearts of the powers who should not be could bear to tear it down. I mean, I who knows? I have no idea. Digital archaeology saying, I'd love to see who really built it, how it was done, and when. Obviously, it's very out of place. Yeah, it's, I mean, superbly out of place, man. Superbly out of place. That's the last photo, by the way, in the folder. But outstanding. I mean, you can't even get the whole thing in a in one shot, really, unless you pull back to almost to the other side of the harbor. It's ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. You know what I mean? So yeah, there you go.
I say that was absolutely lovely. That legislative building named in our honor, in the city named in our honor, is so absolutely lovely. I've eaten cake there many times.
It's great. It's great. Thank you. That's terrific. So there you go. That is the folder that I have got on Victoria. I have some old vintage footage of Victoria too. So if you go to the homepage of my channel here and you click on the playlist tab and you scroll through the playlists, you'll find the vintage footage playlist. And there's at least one or two of Victoria in there, you know, set to music and all that. So I encourage you to do that as well. So I think I'm getting ready to wind this thing down here. What are we at? 2 hours and 10 minutes-ish, give or take. But you know how we like to do it around here, you know, before I go, just like to have a little fun, share a couple of little jokes and stuff sent my way. You know, we like to have fun.
You know what I mean? All right, we're having a good time.
So let's see what we've got here. Let's see. Kathy likes to send me good stuff, and I like to share it because it's funny as hell. She sent me a couple of things. I found one thing of my own, though. Maybe I'll share that first because, you know, Queen Victoria is partying. She's going to party hardy, bud, because it's her birthday, eh? So I think I have some footage, actually, of Queen Victoria celebrating at her own birthday festivities sometime in the past here. Now, it's hard to hear. You'll have to excuse the audio quality, or the sound quality is very bad, right? Because it's, you know, 1890s audio recording. So it's hard to pick out the music and the song, but you'll be able to tell if you listen carefully. Yeah, she's having some fun. She's having some fun. I think it's probably just best to leave her be. Just leave her be, I think. Let her have a good time. You know, she's letting loose on her borning day. The old gal, let her have a good time. Gosh, yeah. The internet is full of genius people. I will say that. It's full of some damn fools too. But you know, all right. Let's see what Kathy sent me here. Well, yeah, this is a nice one. Speaking of music, this one's a pretty good one. Nice little ditty. It's very catchy. It's an earworm. You won't be able to get it out of your head once you hear it.
I wrote for the people that pissed me off today, yesterday, and probably tomorrow. Okay. Fuck off.
It's not bad. It's not a bad. It's very, yeah. That's a hit. I think you got a viral hit there with that one. Please excuse the language. It's fine and dandy to say that after the fact, by the way, right? Of course. All right. One more here. One more, and we'll quit screwing around. This is, oh, hey, come on now. This is Anthony. This is Anthony from Boston here. Shout out to Anthony. Let's see what he's got. He's got funny signs, I think, this time around. Let's see what's going on with Anthony.
Through some of these funny signs, please. How about some black grapeless grapes? What am I paying for here? Eh?
Grapeless grapes. They took the idea of seedless watermelon and they just took it to all new levels of idiocracy. Grapeless grapes. Those are perfect for my diet.
You guys don't have any meatballs bone in? No meatballs bone in? Damn it.
I was kind of hoping they did have the bone-in meatballs because then I could have them with my bone-in donuts. Remember that one? The boneless donuts.
Dead relative? Planning the funeral? Don't bring just any potatoes. Bring the funeral potatoes. They're to die for. Grapes, what am I paying for here?
They're to die for. Oh, I jumped ahead. I ruined it.
Potatoes? Bring the funeral potatoes. They're to die for. Why wouldn't I be able to belly laugh at this park? Oh, a dove might shit in my mouth.
Why wouldn't I be able to belly laugh in this pack? A dove might shit in my mouth.
Imagine you get the dates wrong. Yeah, I'm here for the fish fry. Nope. Jerk off contest.
I did it again. I done did it again.
Shit in my mouth. Imagine you get the dates wrong. Yeah, I'm here for the fish fry. Nope. Jerk off contest. It's fish fries tomorrow.
Oh, boy.
Introducing the man who made love to pavements. He even had a go at an underpass. At least somebody's getting some. He pulls up to a freshly paved driveway. Driveway's like, nope, not today, Tim. Tim's like, come on. Just a tip.
There it is. A little bit of a theme going on with the tip here again today.
I wet my jockeys here.
Just the tip. Friend request sent.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
I've been kind of clogged up lately. You know what I'm in the mood for? A jumbo steam dump. Man arrested for stealing 5 pounds of baby powder. Psh, I think we found the
Wait for it.
suspect. How do you know it's him? Can we go?
There you go. Big shout out to Anthony. Funny guy. Those things crack me up every single time. They crack me up. Hilarious. Hilarious. 3 mutual friends. Is that what you call Eskimo brothers? Three Eskimo brothers. All right, that's enough. Gosh darn it. Sheesh. All right. So I think I'm getting ready to wind this thing down here for today. Before I go, you know what? I'm going to give you one last sneak peek at the official teaser for Reset 1700 coming up very shortly. And keep your ocular sphericals, your eyeballs, and earballs. Don't forget your earballs. Keep them tuned into the channel here because the official full-length trailer is going to be coming up shortly. Surely it'll be coming up shortly. But until then, let's tide you over one last time here with the teaser trailer. Reset 1700.
About a heaven in Alberta, where they've got all hell for a basement.
All right, so there you go. So I think that is going to seal the deal here this evening for Frankie. New West Reset, a New West Reset Live, episode 118, Victoria, Queen City of the Old World. Again, as a quick reminder, links below for everything we covered. Thanks again for winding down your weekend here with yours truly on this Sunday Fun Day. Really appreciate all of you and all of your support. And until the next one, take care out there and have yourselves a good one. All right? Thanks a lot. See you later.
It's a mystery! It's a mystery wrapped in a riddle inside an enigma!